Hello, welcome to our first Bible study on individual responsibility to honor and support family leadership, focusing on an example from the Shunammite couple, Module 4, Session 12 of Living in the Image of God. I am Goodluck Ofewu.
Hello, I am Obi Ofewu. We welcome you to this Bible study brought to you by Banking Blessings Ministry.
Hello, I am Tochukwu Chiobi.
And I am Ijoma Tochiobi.
We will see that the account of the Shunammite couple includes several examples that illustrate the value of honor and support for family leadership.
God creates every person to represent Him in interactions with others.
To be for others what God would be for them if He lived with us in human form.
He provides resources to empower every person to perform the responsibility.
Also, He blesses those that do.
Our program seeks to understand the meaning of living in the image of God.
Resources that God has provided to guide us,
and human responsibilities and benefits of living in the image of God.
Let's dive right in to learn, test, and share from God's message.
This is the first in a Bible study series to understand the individual responsibility regarding family leadership. The series is based on Bible examples of husband-wife interactions.
The series includes a discussion of the Shunammite couple, Adam and Eve, Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah, and Mary and Joseph.
The discussion focuses on aspects of their husband-wife interactions that illustrate the individual responsibility to honor and support family leadership.
The examples show the husband as overall leader and the wife as leader in specific matters and custodian of specific information.
The series begins with the Shunammite couple.
We will see that several accounts from their life provide information that appears tailor-made for this study.
The couple was abundantly blessed through lasting, close relationship with Prophet Elisha.
We will discuss their interactions in 3 events that highlight honor and support for family leadership.
The events are their first meeting with Elisha,
providing long-term shelter for Elisha in their home,
and an SOS, that is Save Our Soul call to Elisha.
Our Bible reading comes from 2 Kings chapter 4, verses 8 through 37, and chapter 8, verses 1 through 6.
The facts regarding the couple's meeting with Elisha come from one Bible verse.
2 Kings chapter 4 verse 8. One day Elisha went to Shunem, and a well-to-do woman was there, who urged him to stay for a meal. So whenever he came back, he stopped there to eat.
Here are the facts based on the account. The Shunammite woman met an interesting stranger, maybe at a public event.
She did not know that the stranger was Prophet Elisha.
She recognized that the stranger needed rest and a home-cooked meal, and took him home to share a meal with her and her husband.
Their interactions in sharing a meal proved a pleasant experience for Elisha and the Shunammite couple.
We know this based on the last sentence of 2 Kings chapter 4 verse 8 and the subsequent verse that is 2 Kings chapter 4 verse 9.
Last sentence of 2 Kings chapter 4 verse 8. So whenever he came back, he stopped there to eat.
Verse 9, she said to her husband, I know that this man who often comes our way is a holy man of God.
What really happened in this event is that the Shunammite woman's husband honored and supported his wife's leadership in a call to compassion.
The woman recognized a need, that is, a stranger that needed rest and a home-cooked meal.
She cared about the needy, that is, she cared about the stranger.
She committed on behalf of her family to doing what they could to alleviate the need.
That is, a call to compassion came to the family through the woman as leader and her husband as supporter.
The husband accepted the stranger into their home based only on his wife's information.
Likely because of the husband's habit of trusting his wife's judgment and his wife's habit of protecting her husband's trust.
The wife accepted a call to compassion on behalf of her family, and her husband honored and supported his wife's leadership regarding the responsibility.
As a result, the family established a close relationship with Elisha without knowing that he was a prophet.
The Shunammite couple built an addition to their home as long-term shelter for Elisha. Here are the facts.
After their first meeting, Elisha visited the couple often, and the woman sensed that he was a man of God.
She proposed to her husband that they should build a long-term shelter in their home for the stranger.
In making the proposal, she honored her husband's overall leadership of the household.
She asked with humility, that is, with a promise of obedience.
Her approach to asking showed she believed her husband would consider the proposal in good faith.
Let us read from 2 Kings chapter 4, verses 9 and 10.
2 Kings chapter 4, verse 9. And she said to her husband, Look now, I know that this is a holy man of God who passes by us regularly.
Verse 10. Please, let us make a small upper room on the wall, and let us put a bed for him there, and a table and a chair and a lampstand, so it will be whenever he comes to us, he can turn in there.
Let us discuss the husband-wife interactions regarding the woman's proposal for a long-term shelter for Elisha.
The woman had a vision for providing comfortable shelter in their home for a man she realized was a holy man of God.
Also, she had a clear blueprint for a suitable basic accommodation.
That is, she had reason to believe that God had called her to provide a shelter. Further, she had access to the needed resources because the Bible described her as well-to-do.
That is, she had the vision, she had the blueprint, and she had the resources. Therefore, she could have proceeded to work on the shelter without consulting her husband.
However, she recognized her husband as overall leader of the household.
That means that her husband's approval was required for the type of home modification she contemplated.
Therefore, she tabled the proposal with her husband in humility, that is, with a promise of obedience.
Although God had given her a vision and blueprint, she needed to honor and support her husband's leadership of the household in seeking to implement the vision.
The language of her proposal conveyed a promise of obedience, that she will accept an approval or disapproval, but will appreciate an approval.
2 Kings chapter 4, verse 10. Please let us make a small upper room on the wall.
She did not say, I want to make a small upper room on the wall, or I am making a small upper room on the wall.
She sought her husband's approval and trusted him to consider the proposal in good faith.
The experience of the Shunammite couple also helps us understand that a couple could receive a call to compassion through the husband or wife.
One as leader, the other as supporter.
In the example of the Shunammite couple, the wife recognized the need,
Cared about the needy.
and proposed a plan to alleviate the need.
The husband joined his wife to commit to the plan, and they worked together to complete their responsibility.
Before we continue with the next segment of our discussion on the Shunammite couple, let us note that the couple did not have a child prior to their association with Elisha.
They did not expect to have a child. However, Elisha interceded on their behalf, and they had a son.
The Bible provides the account in 2 Kings chapter 4 verses 11 through 17. Let us proceed with the interactions regarding an event that involved the child.
As the child grew, one day he fell sick while visiting with his father in the farm.
The man sent the sick child home to his mother.
The woman cared for the child, but the child died.
She placed the dead child on Elisha's bed, went to her husband and requested for transportation to visit with the man of God, that is Elisha, at Mount Carmel.
Let us read selections from 2 Kings chapter 4 verses 18 through 25.
2 Kings chapter 4 verse 22. Then she called to her husband and said, "Please send me one of the young men and one of the donkeys, that I may run to the man of God and come back."
Verse 23. So he said, "Why are you going to him today? It is neither the new moon nor the Sabbath."
And she said, "It is well."
The husband wanted to know more about the reason for the woman's planned trip to meet Elisha at Mount Carmel.
However, the woman did not provide any more information, but reassured him by saying, "It is well."
The husband provided transportation as requested by his wife.
She went to Mount Carmel to appeal to Elisha regarding their child.
Elisha returned with her and restored the dead child to life.
The couple accepted divided responsibilities to take care of their farm work and sick child at the same time.
The husband sent the sick child home to his wife in order to focus on their farm work.
The wife accepted responsibility to care for the child.
When the child died, she stepped into her responsibility as spiritual gateway for the family to take their grievance to the man of God at Mount Carmel.
The woman honored her husband's leadership by requesting transportation from him.
She informed him of her planned trip to Mount Carmel and requested transportation.
Her husband accepted, "It is well," as sufficient explanation for the trip, and approved the transportation request without pressing for further justification.
He honored and supported his wife's leadership as spiritual gateway for the family.
What did we learn in this Bible story?
The Shunammite couple recognized and supported each other in their division of responsibilities for family leadership.
The husband was the overall leader.
The wife was the spiritual gateway for the family and the occasional leader in specific matters.
They honored and supported each other in family leadership.
Their honor and support for family leadership resulted in several benefits.
They were blessed through a long-time, close relationship with Prophet Elisha.
The relationship led to a miraculous birth to a son.
The son was restored to life after a sudden death.
On the advice of Prophet Elisha, the family relocated to avoid a severe famine.
Also, they recovered their lost property after they returned from exile.
We did not discuss the last two benefits in this study. The 2 Kings chapter 8 verses 1 through 6 provides the information.
Please join us again in our continuing discussion of living in the image of God.
Thank you.
God bless you.